Hello, everyone. Tazar2 here, and welcome back to the Lads Podcast. This is episode 14. Yeah, episode 14 is pretty great, you know.
Wow,
We a
we're
freshie
there.
in high school. Fresh meat. And,
Fresh meat aren't friends, they're food.
come to think of it, we're both seniors. We never did any of that stuff with freshmen. Like, at least I didn't. I didn't mess around with the
No.
freshmen.
Well, because we, for the most part, haven't been at school, so we haven't been able to.
This is true. But, like, even my sophomore and junior year. Like
Mhm.
I would see people like just messing with them. I'd
Mhm.
be like, that's not right. You shouldn't do that.
I haven't seen that, ever. But alright.
I remember we were I was where was I? Right, it was during Spirit Week
Hmm.
where doing all that stuff. I was helping out with our hallway. So, you know how in our school
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least we decorate parts of the school, and we
Mhm.
usually call it class hallway, but uh like for the juniors we do the cafeteria, and like freshmen get the band hall, and
Mhm.
sophomores get the hall that's leading from the cafeteria to the gym, and the seniors get the atrium or the lobby, whatever you want to call it.
I would say I didn't know we had an atrium at the high school.
Yeah, I guess it's not an atrium, is it? It's just a glass entryway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's one of the traditions there. And I remember I was there and the freshmen were doing their stuff. It was really sad because there was like 12 of us maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and there were 3 freshmen
Aw,
doing the hallway. I felt bad for them.
that is sad.
But I remember I got messed with maybe a little bit as a freshman, but not too much. You
I don't
know,
think I did.
our friend group would kind of tend to stay off the radar.
Yeah.
But I remember some apparently I was walking too slow for someone, so they when I was on the last step, they shoved me.
Aw.
And they said, "Move it, freshie." So,
Aw.
I mean, it wasn't nice, but it wasn't like a really hard push that threw me down.
Mm.
It was a pretty light push, but I didn't expect it, so I couldn't brace.
Mm-hmm.
And I do walk slow. This is a true thing, but it's not like anyone's in a hurry. So there's that little tidbit, that little story. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure I told you before, but this was like 3 years ago. So
Yeah,
to
I
be fair,
definitely don't remember.
you probably don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's that. That's my I feel like this is just a section of the show now where we when we get up in episodes, we just talk about ages and
Things that are
stuff.
happening. Yep.
Just always.
Yeah, we
It's a
have this
it's a
intro
it's pretty
segment.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice section, except when we get into older ages, we're not gonna really be able to do
Oh, when I was a young little man.
it. Back in my day.
Back in my day.
Anyway, so hopefully this show's gonna be a great show, and we can just dive
Hopefully.
right into it. So, in the past 2 weeks, I've played the demo for an upcoming game called Outriders. It's a looter shooter game produced by Square Enix. They make Kingdom Hearts and they make Final Fantasy. I know those 2 games are kind of the same. And they make a ton of other games that I can't remember off the top of my head, but those are their 2 popular ones. Oh wait, no, that's Capcom. I was thinking Resident Evil, but that's Capcom. Anyway,
Mm.
so Square Enix, you know, they make a game called Outriders. It's a new IP, and ever you can get a demo for the game. It's PC only, but it will be out when the game comes out on the 1st of April, it will be playable on Xbox. Not sure about PS4, but I know it'll be on Game Pass for Xbox. And anyway, so on PC, there's a demo. You can play it, and it's about 3 hours long. And I played the demo. So if you don't know what a looter shooter is, the most popular game I can compare it to is Borderlands. And if you don't know what Borderlands is, Destiny. Which Destiny has some MMO elements where it's like online. Oh, Borderlands is not. This is not online. This is a single player or co-op experience. Same thing as Borderlands. And when you play this game and it works kind of like you expect it would, like a looter shooter. The theme of the game, I don't feel like this is too much spoiling because first of all, it's a demo, and second of all, it's the first 3 hours of the game.
Right.
So if you're gonna play it, you're going to, yeah. Anyway, it's not big on story. It's just a demo. But the premise of the story is you are the Earth is destroyed. We destroyed Earth through climate change, things like that. Real world stuff. And we flee to this other planet. I forget the name of the planet. But yeah. So and you go on this planet and you wind up in this forest, and there's this lightning storm. And when the lightning, it like strikes people and disintegrates them, and it's like, whoa.
Huh?
And like, and it's and you make it, your character. And your character is an Outrider, which is like an elite soldier, pretty much. So you make it, and then when you get back, when you get back, basically what it was your commander they wanted to bring everyone down, call everyone down, because you were like a forward scout group, scouting out the planet, making sure it's safe. And it's this argument where it's like you're talking with your commanding officer, you and this other character, and you're like, yo, it's not safe here. Like, 4 people just died. So the commanding officer's like, no, we'll lose our window if we don't go. And we're like, yeah, do you really want like half our people to just die on the spot? And he's like, honestly, I don't care. And then you fight him and you win. But
nice.
It just so happens that you kind of get caught in an explosion. And yeah, so that hurts really bad. And
as explosions do.
Yeah, as explosions do. And also there's this like, I forget what it was, but it was like they're rushing all the people into medical. And there's like, it's really bad situation. Oh right, the storm or whatever catches up.
Right.
It's like coming, and you're like, you gotta go. And they like put you in this cryopod and you freeze. And you wake up and it's like, I think it's like 20 or 30 years later or something. And then you wake up and it's like all these people are down here now because he managed to do that. Like his final words when you beat him is like, you're too late. It's like, boom, And so like everyone's down. And what ends up happening is because of all the storms and stuff, everyone's like breaking off into factions and stuff, thinking they can do it better. And just war, basically. And what you find out is, uh, or not what you find out, someone captures you. I don't know why I'm explaining this so poorly. So someone captures you, you go out into this area, and they're like, run over here. And it's like called No Man's Land because there's like that storm again.
Yeah.
And it's like it ends up here, that sort of thing. And it's like, this is No Man's Land, have fun. And yeah, you get struck by one of those lightning things, and you don't die. Instead, you get powers. You get cool superpowers. And that's the premise of the game. You're just this guy
Nice.
who has superpowers. And you do a bunch of other stuff that I won't get
That's
into
cool.
because it's a 3-hour long demo.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on the game. Story's pretty interesting, but it's also a little lacking. You gotta kind of piece together it yourself, which I don't hate, but like I wish there was a little bit more explaining. And other than that, the game itself is pretty good. My complaint, however, is that the graphics. So my computer, I recently, I already discussed this on the podcast before. I built a computer, and I got the graphics card, and it works pretty well. I think I managed to stop the crashes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it hasn't crashed for
I remember
a
that was
while.
a big,
Yeah,
that was a big issue when you first got it.
Yeah, it hasn't crashed since the last podcast, so
Well, that's good.
it's pretty good. And I got a pretty beefy graphics card, so I was able to run this game on Ultra. And it looks terrible for Ultra settings.
Oh.
Capital T terrible. There is so while I was playing this demo, I was also playing The Witcher 3. Because I bought The Witcher 3, I think it was during Christmas. I was like, okay, I'm going to finally play this game. So as I'm playing through this game, and I'm also playing the Outriders demo, I'm comparing. I had The Witcher, which is a game made in 2015, on high settings, not on ultra. Because Witcher 3 is kind of graphically intensive. By that I mean very graphically intensive. And so I couldn't run it on Ultra. Also because Ultra has a lot of NVIDIA card support, and I don't have a NVIDIA card. So, like, a lot of the settings were just useless, kind of. But I was playing that game, and that game looks better on high than Outriders does on Ultra. And my main issue is the way that hair and water look. Because they have these, like, when you play a game that's kind of like on low quality settings and you get those, like, fuzzes around the hair and, like, with the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. And just the textures, they don't look that great.
No.
So, yeah, graphics is my biggest complaint. Like, you should fix that for it to be considered in any way a credible game. Or a AAA game, which it is. It's Square Enix, they're a big company. Yeah, if it was an indie dev studio, I would have been like, okay. In terms of bugs, the only thing I noticed was, like, I think my controls were... It might just be me not used to the controls because I didn't play the game very long. But I was having some trouble with the controls. They were a little clunky. And the other thing was there were some graphical problems involving your, again, hair. Hair seems like a recurring theme in this game. But my hair in, like, one of the cutscenes turned gray, and it didn't change back for the rest of my demo.
Oh wow.
I was like, my hair's not gray. That's not how I set up the character. What? So there was that. Those were my two grievances.
Wowie.
But other than that, yeah, the game itself is fine. Just fix your graphics. Anyway, so after my review, what's going on in your life, Jerry? Doing anything?
Oh, let's see. Not a whole lot. New phase of school reentry is the biggest thing I would say right now.
Ooh, we have that
Um,
coming up. 4 days. I'm doing that
yeah,
too.
that's. Oh, you are. That's this upcoming week, I do think.
4 days a week. It's kind of spooky,
Yeah,
like.
kind of.
I mean, thankfully, my parents are fully immunized, or they will be on the second.
Hmm.
Like my dad's already fully immunized. My mom only has one shot. She's getting the other one on the second.
Oh, that's good.
So, the people who would be in especially danger. I don't know how you say that. The
Especially in danger or something like that. At higher risk.
yeah, the people at higher risk are protected. So we shouldn't have to worry about that. But it's just like, it's kind of spooky. I haven't been to
Hmm.
school in a while. Yeah, if I get COVID's not gonna be like a breeze
Hmm.
because I'm young.
Right.
It's not just gonna be a cold. I feel terrible for weeks or a week, from what I hear.
Right.
That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, but I'm excited to
Yeah.
go back. I
Hmm.
remember just just like more recently, I've just been like a little bit. I guess you could say down. I don't know. Like I am having fun. Like every time I live stream and like do the podcast, I always feel a little bit better because I'm interacting with people. But just the
Right.
lack of social interaction, like minus
Yeah.
my family, because like I haven't really gone out or anything during the pandemic.
Hmm.
So like I don't know, it's starting to weigh down on me. So hopefully this will help me.
Yeah. Yeah, I could say the same. Like, just before they did reopen school, even to like 2 days a week, which I did partake in. It was like just before that, I was like, okay, haven't seen anyone in quite a while. Yeah, it was Like I wasn't like sad or anything, but it was like, it was just draining, I guess, to not
Yeah, just
be around people.
yeah, and I'm not exactly a
Mhm.
social person. I wouldn't say that, but just
Yeah,
like
neither am I.
I don't know, just everyone needs it,
Hmm.
I suppose.
But yeah, like I remember like the first day I went back, it was already like a huge boost on my mood. I came back a lot happier that day. So,
Yeah, I feel that. Just I was just talking to someone at work for like maybe 10 minutes. I was just like,
hmm.
this is great. I like talking to people.
Right.
Speaking of social, we do have a prom now, which is actually pretty cool. And
We
I know a
do.
lot of listeners come from our school, so just because I share the show around. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, at least a lot of people live in the area, so like a lot of our community is partially from our school. So anyway, prom. It's very interesting to see,
Hmm.
after years of just saying, or after a year of just sitting there. And I remember talking about this with one of my coworkers who also go to our school. She was saying, I don't care how elaborate it is. I just want some sort of resemblance of an event, kind of like prom, to like close out my senior year, because
Hmm.
so far my senior year hasn't been great. And it does kind of suck. We are in that situation where it's like we've spent our entire senior year almost virtually.
Hmm.
Like even you who goes to school, I'm sure it's a diminished experience.
Right, because there's like no one in the school, and I'm only there 2 days a week. Um, and because my trade school, I'm technically only at my high school 1 day a week, technically. So,
You know, it's
yeah,
certainly a less of an experience.
right.
So moving on, another thing that's happened to me in the past 2 weeks is I've picked up a guitar. I bought a guitar on Amazon.
Go be a music man
I'm
over
gonna,
here.
I'm gonna be a music man.
We're gonna have a new section in the podcast called Music Time with
Jams,
Taylor.
jams.
Jams.
I haven't learned any songs yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying.
You're
It's
practicing
such
the string first and the chords
yeah.
and such.
It's the
Oh.
transition between getting the chords and then switching between the chords and then doing it fast enough to make a song.
Mm-hmm.
Like it that's some of the biggest hurdles. Like learning the chords is fine. Like you memorize a few chords, you got a song. You just got to do it
Right.
in quick succession, fast and without interruptions.
Right.
So I'm just trying to figure that part out. Sorry, my allergies are acting up. I've just
Ooh,
been kind of
that's
sitting
all
here
right.
just scratching.
See, allergies is a good segue into our next topic of spring.
Spring existing. Oh, I'm done with
Spring.
winter. I am so done with winter.
Winter this year was
I'm
pretty
here for it.
wintry.
I'm here for it. I'm done with winter.
Yes, absolutely. The weather today, from last time I went out, was 79 degrees.
Yeah, it's nice and warm. It's pretty
It
windy
is
today.
so toasty. It is extremely windy, but
Yeah.
it is very warm out.
It does mean that pretty soon I have to start mowing the lawn again. Well, maybe not me,
Yeah, I have to
but
do that.
there's plenty
I
of
have to
people
do
around
that
here
too.
to do it. But
Yeah.
it's about time I start mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
And
The
usually
grass is getting greener and all.
spring is a signal for our local Comic-Con, but we're not
Oh,
having that.
I have news on that one. It's not. It's not.
Yeah, it's not. We talked
Yeah,
about this in the last
it's
show.
not.
I look
Yeah, it's
so
not happening.
I look forward to it so much.
Hmm.
Yeah, but we should totally do like an impromptu like just time where because that's when we usually like bring everyone. We're just gonna
Hmm.
do nerd stuff for like an entire day.
Yeah,
So we should do
we
like
should do
one of
that.
those.
Yeah. Yeah, we were planning to anyway, weren't we, with
Yeah,
the
the
draft,
draft.
the card draft. Yeah,
We can do like a card draft tournament if we get enough people.
that'd be fun.
Get like some of our other friends who play card games, not necessarily people like in the D&D party or whatever.
Hmm.
We can play Pandemic, ironically.
That'd be fun.
I did get that for Christmas. My siblings bought me that for Christmas.
Yes, I remember you told me about that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said it on the show.
Yeah, you
A
did.
lot of the show is just I've repeated this. uh, it, I was thinking about something to put on the show. Maybe I made note of it. That's a good conversation. Just I don't know if you do this, but do you make notes of stuff? Because I make a lot of notes.
Sometimes if it's important enough that I need to remember. Sometimes the closest I get to notes is setting an alarm to remind me at a certain specific time with like a brief little note being, "Hey, do this at this time." That's the most notes I usually take. Aside for school notes, of course, in which case I have like a whole binder full. But but like in everyday passing, like in just in everyday passing time, I don't really take too many notes.
Yeah, I take a lot of notes. Like every week at the beginning of each week, what I do is I get a sticky note. I write down the things I gotta do this week. I stick it on there. And if I'm done, I take it off. If I'm not done by the end of the week, I go why, and then I do
I
it.
go, why? All right.
But and like if I ever have an idea pop into my head, I have a notes app on my
Mhm.
phone. The what's it called? I have they used to have like, because I have a Samsung phone. They used to have
Mm-hmm.
Samsung Notes, but they removed it. So now I have to use Google Keep,
Mm.
which I mean it's all right. It syncs with all my Google stuff, so I can just launch Chrome and go into Keep and find it. And
Right.
another thing that I do is I do reminders because there's a reminders app on my phone. So it's like if I have to do something later, like later in the future,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, hey, you gotta, like, whenever I have a birthday or Christmas gift, I put it on there and I mark it like maybe a month prior or a couple weeks prior so I can get it
Right.
ordered. So yeah, I just make a lot of notes. Some people need that. Like I know
Mm-hmm.
every day when I look at my computer and I look down and I see the sticky note, I'm like, that's what I gotta do by the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And today it worked, or this week it worked. You know, I I always have things on there like do your schoolwork. This is when you go to work, and I also have uh stream because I'm trying to make it a thing where I stream once a week. And if I have a video on
Right.
the docket that I have to edit, I mark it there too. And that's usually what I used to remind me, just as a mechanism for that.
I used to keep a lot of notes just around, but I don't really do that much anymore because there's not a whole lot I need to remind myself to do. Well, there are some things, but it's like things I can remember without notes usually.
Yeah, just falling into a routine. I'm a very forgetful person. I always forget to do things. So
Mm-hmm.
notes are a requirement for me.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be an interesting question for the viewers to answer. Do you guys keep notes? Is that
Yeah,
like
that'd be
a
interesting.
thing?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting to
That
see
thing
how
that
many
people
people
do.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any updates on ELU other than I hope that's gonna be a blast. Um,
Mm-hmm.
got Magic, Among Us, and Chess. And what was the other one? There was another game, wasn't there?
There was, but I don't remember it.
There was Rocket League, but I didn't participate in that. Hmm.
Mm.
No matter. We'll figure it out. We'll be. I'll be sure to do a training of one of those games. I think it was gonna be. Oh right. We're gonna do chess over spring break, which is next week.
Mm-hmm.
Is it next week?
It is
Yeah.
next week.
And
Well, wait, no. This the because this upcoming week is our first week back at school. That ends early, and that's when spring break starts.
it's like the what is it? The second or something.
I think it's like the 1st through 7th of April.
Okay, that's pretty cool. It's a full week.
Yeah, yeah. Because we didn't have any snow days due to being able to just attend class online.
Yeah, it is
Mm-hmm.
interesting to how they're setting up chess. What it is, it's an arena style tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So you win points for winning games. Uh yeah, you just win points for winning games and you're just trying to accumulate as many points as possible in 24 hours, which you know
Mm-hmm.
should be fun.
Yeah,
Just play, right? Just play chess for
yeah,
like 3 hours or some or a couple hours or something.
right.
Yeah, so you're just trying to get points, and it's just this arena of everyone who signed up. Just throw them in.
Mm-hmm.
Magic's different. It's just gonna be I think it's qualifiers, and you're out if you lose 3 games,
Oh.
and then it's when it gets down to 16, it's a single. It's an elimination tournament, so it's
Mm-hmm.
like brackets and everything. Among Us, kind of similar. It's it's kind of similar to chess, where you're just trying to accumulate points for killing as imposter, winning games, things like that. That one's gonna be harder because I have to document everything, like through screenshots. So it's like every kill
Right.
I have to take a screenshot. It's kind of crazy.
Hmm.
So it's like an imposter. Every kill, take a screenshot. Every voting screen I have to take a screenshot of.
Oh,
But
but
Among
yeah,
Us
that
will be
sounds like a
fun,
lot. Hmm.
as long as I can remember to take screenshots and not get myself disqualified.
Yeah.
It does sound like a me move. Just like, you're disqualified because you're incompetent. And I'll be like, true. And I'll leave. But it'll be fun. The top prize for each tournament is $5,000
Oh, nice.
to the hospital. And
That's nice.
I think the lowest prize is like 250. This is if you
That's
get
not
into those qualifying 16.
okay.
So so that also means if I get into the qualifiers in any of these tournaments, we'll basically fill most of our goal. So if I do good, I give myself more work. That's my reward. But also
Nice.
donating to charity. So that's great.
Yeah, that's the ultimate reward right there.
Yeah, the ultimate reward is just giving. It's
Hmm.
just giving is great. Makes people happy and
Hmm.
makes you feel a little good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's gonna be it's gonna be good fun. I love the I'm loving it so far, just looking at it.
Hmm.
Just super hype. Yeah. Sorry folks about the I don't know. This might be shorter. It just
It's about 42 minutes.
yeah. This might be shorter. I'm sorry about that, folks. There's
Alright.
just not a lot going on, like in the news.
Yeah, it's pretty relaxed recently.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, for once.
Unless I'm missing something glaring.
In which case, our the viewers at home can, or the listeners at home can like spam us in the comments, being like, "Ah, you didn't cover this."
Yeah, you didn't
Yeah.
cover this. Do you even news, bro?
Do you even news? No, we don't. We don't news. We opinion.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of opinions, there's this trend on Twitter. It's hashtag thank you Fortnite.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, that's what I said. Oh? So I go to the tag, and what it is, it's apparently this thing where the Fortnite competitive scene doesn't like a gun, and the casual scene
Hmm.
likes the gun. So now it's a dead game. Are you following the logic? Because I'm not.
I think I am. Yeah. I think you talked about this once before,
Well,
or
no,
something
because
similar.
this was. I mean, maybe I don't know. I mean, I I don't get it. I don't understand it. How is it
That
a okay? So if your community is fighting, is that dead game? I'm not sure.
no, I don't think so.
I mean, and it's funny because I was looking at the threads and people were like, Fortnite's not a dead game." And someone goes, "Yes, it is. They only have 3.8 million players.
Only.
Only 3.8. Man, if Destiny had 3.8 million players, I'm just gonna that's wild." My favorite if my favorite game's at 3.8 million players. Like really, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure like Destiny doesn't even have a million Steam charts. Hold on, I need to look this up because if I
Fact
don't,
check.
If I don't, someone will yell at me. Yeah, all-time peak for Destiny 2 on Steam is 292,000.
Oh.
So, if and Destiny 2 is not a dead game. At least
Hmm.
I don't think so because like I play it a lot. Kind of a lot.
Hmm.
So, if Destiny 2 isn't a dead game at almost at over a quarter million players. So, Fortnite is thousand almost over 1,000 times that,
Hmm.
something like that.
Yeah,
So
maths probably checks out.
my math is it ain't checking out, chief. 3.8 million players, dead game. What? And it reminded me of just the whole I guess you could call it a paradigm of gamers. Because there's
Hmm.
like I feel like there's a difference between people who play video games and enthusiasts, gaming enthusiasts.
Hmm.
Because like there's people who play games and they have the ability to give feedback, and they
Hmm.
have, it's like, oh, I like this game, I don't like this game. But I don't think that everyone has the ability to explain the nuances of games thoroughly as to whether or not
Hmm.
that it's objectively a good game. Because I think mechanically, Fortnite is I I don't like the game, just some of my personal preferences, the art style, I don't like the art style.
Hmm.
Um the just the community as a whole. Not since it is a mainstream game, there is a lot of you get a lot of different diverse community, which is good. But you look at most of the player base, children. So all in all, it's a children's game. Let's just say that by the community standards. I'm sure someone's mad at me. No, it's not a children's game. It's a real action-packed shooter. But fundamentally, there's some problems with battle royales that I just don't like personally, and I think that's not good objectively. There's the idea of third parties, other teams coming in and disrupting your match, or disrupting your
Hmm.
firefight between someone else. I don't think.
Yeah.
While it is very robust, I don't think it contributes to admiring gunplay. Because there's no way you're gonna pull out if you're low health after finishing the squad, and then someone else comes up behind you.
Hmm.
So I just maybe that's just me. You know, I'm saying like I don't fundamentally like the fundamentals of battle royales. I don't like, but I love Apex Legends.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm just being a hypocrite, but I don't like Fortnite. Also, I just don't like Epic Games as a company.
Hmm. I've never really played Fortnite, so I couldn't say from like a from playing it standpoint if it's good or not. But I don't know. Doesn't I think I agree more with what you said about the fan base and the community of it than the game itself. Because to me, it seems like an all right game, but the community kind of has it makes it a bit off-putting for me, which is why I've never played it in part.
Uh, and also the idea of hybrid skill. I'm just no good
Mhm.
at the building aspect of the game, and I can never be. And there's
Mhm.
these people that like quick build so insane. They're like building the Taj Mahal. When the game first started out, nobody was doing that. They were just building basic cover,
Mhm.
and it's like, yeah, this is alright. This is an alright mechanic. But then when
Mhm.
people are just like got to a level of skill in the game where you where they were just building insane structures that you couldn't keep up with,
Right.
and I'm like, how is my Halo experience, like my my Halo shooter experience, supposed to match Bob the Builder over here? Like,
Bob the Bill.
and I guess that's just really frustrating for me, and in my opinion, it's just like it rewards building more than gunplay.
Hmm.
Like I remember trying to snipe some people. Like I was just trying to be a sniper,
Hmm.
and so I'm like shooting at them, and they just start building just obnoxious builds, and I'm just like I'm trying to shoot them, taking fire. I'm shooting them, not taking any fire, but then
Hmm.
someone decides to build up above me and then drop down and shoot me with a shotgun, and I'm like,
Oh.
does this to me it rewards the wrong type of skill? And maybe that's
Mm.
just because I see Fortnite more as a shooter than whatever that is.
Right.
And maybe some other people see it differently. So I'm being very safe and saying I don't like Fortnite. Very safe, very complicated in saying I don't like Fortnite. It doesn't
Hmm.
reward gunplay as much as it does building, which I mean it's a core mechanic. Whatever. I'm okay with that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like said core mechanic. uh I suppose we can move on to I have a question. We're about at 50
All right,
minutes.
because for once I actually have one.
Wow. Do you want to go
Yeah, I
first or
know.
second?
I can go first if you don't want to go first.
I'm okay. Whatever you want to do.
All right, I'll go first. I have
The
a question.
world is your oyster.
Okay then.
What is your
Um,
question?
what is one old, like very old fashioned trend that you would like to bring back if you could?
We were actually talking about this earlier in one of the streamers that I work with, Angel Shibe, is her
Mm.
server, and and what we found out was that everyone agreed that we should bring back casual suits.
I like that.
And
Of course, me being me, as you know who I
I
am,
mean,
you know
if you
I'm
if
fine
you
with
just
that.
bring it back as like a casual fashion trend, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that you should bring it back in the respect where it's like, you know, full tuxedo like every day.
Hmm.
Just it's like I said, casual suits. Like I don't want to be looked at weird for
Like a
wearing.
blazer
Yeah,
or
I don't.
something.
I don't want to
Hmm.
be looked at weird for wearing my sport coat.
Hmm.
I I I just want to be like, yo, that guy's
Hmm.
cool. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
from a guy who used to wear suits all the time, I
I
can
do
definitely
remember that.
agree.
That
Yeah,
was
that was an
like
odd
that
phase of
was
my
like
life.
early freshman days.
Early fresh, middle school
No,
mainly.
I'm saying that's how long it lasted.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, it died out around freshman year. You're right.
yeah, and now you just wear like I mean you do occasionally wear like nicer stuff, but like
Hmm.
like now you just wear
I've been
like
doing like
polo
hmm
shirts and like stuff like that.
polo shirts. When it's warmer, Hawaiian t-shirts, stuff like that,
Yes,
and shorts. I'm wearing
but
shorts right now actually because it's so hot
Hawaiian
out.
Hawaiian t-shirts are a whole mood.
Hmm. I love Hawaiian t-shirts so much. They're especially the more lightweight ones in warmer weather. They're just nicer.
Since I'm inside all the time because COVID, I've
Hmm.
just I've just relented to just wearing sweatpants all the time.
Yeah,
And when I
I
when
do
I'm
that. Hmm.
and when I'm outside, normally I'll wear like if it's pants, I'm wearing my jeans or whatever, like normal
Hmm.
pants. But yeah, more often than not nowadays, I'm just wearing my sweats because it's
Yeah,
just
I mainly in
lounge
colder
wear.
weather wear sweatpants.
It's just like
Yeah.
lounge wear all the time,
Hmm.
and yeah, like I just and also this kind of goes in line with that. It's I just wear I wear my trilbies,
Oh yes, the
so
trilby.
so it just
I
fits
do
so
love me
well.
a trilby. Hmm.
Just bringing that fashion
If
trend
I
back.
if I had shorter hair, I'd probably still wear trilbies, but I don't, and the hair sticks out like twice the size of the brim, so
The
I don't
hair
wear
works
trilbies
though.
anymore.
The hair
Yeah.
works though.
Mm.
I mean, you know, you can always get it cut. I mean, it's completely up to you, but
I
the
could.
hair
I'm
works.
considering that actually. I'm
Maybe,
considering
I don't
getting it
know.
cut.
It's been a while since I've seen you, but if you didn't trim it, I would say get it trimmed. If
Hmm.
you haven't trimmed it since the last time I saw you, I would say get it trimmed.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get it trimmed at the very least, if not cut completely short.
The bald Jerry.
Bald Jerry, yes, it's going to happen. One day it's going to happen.
I remember we were messing with this face app one of these days, and
Hmm.
I forget what it was. I think I was messing with it while I was at one of our friends' houses, and you were there too.
Hmm.
Um, and it was like this baby filter. It was kind of funny,
Hmm.
but that was like years and years ago. I don't even know why I remember that. Anyway, so what fashion style would you want to bring back?
I was thinking about this for a while, and you know what? I like cloaks. I'd go with a cloak because, like, there's practical applications to a cloak. You got, like, in rain, like, weather, you got the cloak.
Oh,
It'll
cloaks are
keep you
absolutely
dry.
perfect.
Cloaks are amazing. Besides, they're a whole power move, to be honest. Like, if you charge up at someone with a cloak, like, mad respect.
you, if you pull up in a cloak, matter respect.
Mad respect for those who wear cloaks. But no, seriously, like I just like the style of a cloak, like a properly hooded cloak.
Yeah, cloaks
Something
are
about
pretty
it.
stylish,
Nice.
and like you said, when it
Mhm.
rains, because I've
Mhm.
always had this problem with raincoats, where if you get one of the more expensive ones, and I'm not talking about like ponchos,
Mhm.
like they just get really hot.
Yeah.
And I guess cloaks would also get hot, but you could also
Mm.
like undo the clasp and it would be better.
Exactly. Mhm.
Like like with a raincoat, you would always get like it's always a it's always just like a jacket that if you get a poor
Mhm.
one, it's either feels like it's made out of trash bags or it's just too hot because it's like a coat or something.
Mhm.
So there is like I wouldn't say it's a function problem, but
No.
it and it's not really even a problem if you get like one with good ventilation because I have seen
Mhm.
that where it's just like a raincoat that doesn't feel like a trash bag but also
Yeah.
seems fine, but it's a hard niche to, or it's a hard
Mhm.
like product to get just right.
Right.
So anyway, I have a question.
What's your question?
What is a funny way that you found something out? Like you found like a fact, I
Okay,
guess.
I have an amazing example because we were playing Wikipedia Wars yesterday in my trade school.
That sounds
And
great, and I have no idea what it is. You need to explain it to me now.
okay, so the game Wikipedia Wars works in such a way that you start with one Wikipedia article, any article, any topic, and using only the hyperlinks in that article, you have to get to another completely unrelated article, and you can't go back, you can't restart, you have to just follow the hyperlinks,
Oh, that's
and
great. That sounds fun.
mhm, it's a very fun game. We should play it sometime. But
Yes. I just use
yesterday,
inspect element and edit the hyperlink to go to a different page.
but yeah, when we were playing yesterday, what we had started with was the Wikipedia page for linguine, the food, and from there we had to get to the War of the Bucket.
The War of the Bucket. I don't even know what
The
that
War
is.
of the Bucket. Yeah, neither did I. And that's the piece of interesting information I found out.
What
As
is the
the
War of the
story
Bucket?
go as the story goes, which isn't true actually, it's a myth, but well, the war happened, but like the origins are a myth, and the myth version goes such that um, there was a well that had a bucket in it, and the rival country had stolen said bucket, and the country whose bucket was stolen declared war on that country because they had stolen their bucket.
That's pretty silly.
Like as I said though, this is a myth, and in fact, the bucket was taken as a spoil of war after the war had been fought. But the actual origin was that the rival country had taken one of their castles, and then that country had declared war. But
Was it
because of the Hmm?
was it actually called War of the Bucket though?
It is actually called the War of the Bucket. If you were to look it up, it is called the War of the Bucket.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's
It was
so it was
somewhere in
actually
Upper Italy. Yeah, it was
Oh,
fought
okay.
somewhere in Upper Italy. But but yeah, that it's yeah, that's
Okay.
the interesting thing I learned yesterday from playing Wikipedia Wars.
That sounds fun.
Hmm.
My mine seems less fun by comparison, but
Aw.
I remember this one time where I was very young and I
Hmm.
was eating raisins. And I was like, yeah, raisins are great. I love raisins. And I'm like
Hmm.
popping them, popping raisins. And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Ooh, this one's not very good." And I got a stem or a piece of
Hmm.
wood from, grapevine. I'm like,
Hmm.
"Why is this here? Why does my raisins have wood in it?" I go, "Mom, why do my raisins have wood in it?" And she goes, "Because raisins are dried grapes, and that's the stem from the grapes." And that's how I found out that raisins are dried grapes.
That's amazing. See, you think that would be less fun than the War of the Bucket story, but that's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it's just like when I was young and naive, it's just you look back and you're
Yeah,
like, it's kind of funny how I learned all these things.
right.
That's ridiculous
Yeah,
though, the war of the bucket.
I still have that like yeah, I still have those kind of moments today where I'm like the things I haven't thought about for years is something when I learned them as a kid, and then I reevaluate them as I'm older, and I'm like, oh, I was completely wrong about that, and that's fun.
That'll be an interesting question.
Hmm.
Just what are some things you were completely wrong about before?
Oh boy, I've got plenty.
I'm trying to think, but I can't remember right now of like something I was
I think
completely wrong about. And I
the
know I wasn't
biggest
never wrong.
mhm. The biggest example I have was, I think this was like a month or two ago, probably even longer. We were talking about, a friend of mine and I were talking about nudist communities. And I
Okay.
was like, and I somehow just figured they were always completely naked all the time, just wandering around their neighborhoods. Yeah, I know. This is what I thought as a kid. I was like, they just had their own secluded societies where they just didn't have clothes. And then they brought up to me, who the person I was talking to about this. Well, how do you think they go shopping? I'm like, wait, that's a good question. Like, do they just run into stores naked? Like, no, of course not. And I'm like, how? And then I realized, oh, I'm just misrepresenting how that worked, and I hadn't thought about it for years.
You know what? I used to think that too. So it's okay.
Mhm.
I used to think that that nudist colonies were just nude
Yeah,
24/7 365 and never went out into the world and I just never seen one. That's why,
yeah,
because they just never exist in our
yeah.
space.
Hmm.
But no, for the people who are watching the show and still think that no, that is not the case. They wear
No.
clothes when they need to wear clothes. They just rather
Hmm.
not.
You know what? That's a mood. Just rather not.
Just rather
Especially in
not.
warm. I'd just rather not, you know? Especially in this warmer weather. I went out today and I felt like an ant under a magnifying glass without the wind. It was, you know what? I agree.
You agree? Just go join a nudist
I
colony.
agree. You know what? Yeah, I might. Catch me over there
All
if you
right.
need me.
All right. Next time I roll up to your crib, it's gonna be everyone. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Next time I go to your house, just everybody's
Yeah,
good.
there are no clothes here.
No clothes. I threw them all
No
away.
clothes.
I burned them.
Yes, I've burned them. No more.
That was ridiculous.
Hmm.
You know what else is ridiculous?
What?
The end of this show.
That is ridiculous. I'd sue.
That's the end of the episode.
Yeah, that's
So
all we had
sad.
for you today, folks.
I hope you enjoyed. You can go down in the description and check out Twitch. I'll be streaming on Twitch eventually. You know, sometime eventually. You can check out Extra Life. Donate Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. Great cause. We have the tournament coming up, so yeah, I'll be streaming practice for that. I'll be playing all those games. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than it's the end of the show.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah, it's the end of the show.
Have
Bye.
a good one.
Have a day.
Farewell.